Welcome to Wheels Off, a show about the messy reality of the creative life. I'm Rhett Miller.
That's when it got wheels off. We started up and we ain't gonna stop. Oh, said I like it or not.
Howdy, y'all. Rhett Miller coming to you here from the my bedroom at Sonic Ranch Recording Studios outside El Paso in Tornillo, Texas, where the Old 97s are currently hard at work on a new album. And I took a break from that recording to log in with Kevn Kinney of Drivin N Cryin, which is what you're about to see/hear. And it was so great getting to catch up with this old friend of mine, somebody I've looked up to for a long time. His band, Drivin N Cryin, in case you're not familiar, has been together since the mid-'80s. He's from up in Milwaukee. I'll talk about that in the interview. And the band, he moved down to Athens, Georgia, which is where the band got rolling. And he's great. You know, he's done so many incredible things over the years and had so many great experiences. And he's still a great raconteur, a very sweet, funny, humble, charming guy. You know, he's in the Georgia Music Hall of Fame. He's, been playing for literally decades. And yet he's just a sweetheart of a fellow. He's got a new record coming out called Crushing Flowers. The new single should certainly have dropped by the time this interview does. Mirror, Mirror, he said. Well, he'll tell you about it during the course of the interview. Album produced by Sadler Vaden, who should already have a Wheels Off of his own, now that I think about it. Anyway, Kevn Kinney is a great artist, great dude. I really think you guys are going to love this. I'm excited to have him on Wheels Off. Please welcome Kevn Kinney. Welcome to Wheels Off, Kevn Kinney. Thank you so much for joining me, and happy belated birthday. We're taping this one day after your 65th birthday. Congratulations.
Thank you, Rhett. Thank you. I appreciate you. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm so happy to talk to you. This is so fun. Congrats on the new record.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we're taping this now at the middle of March, but it's going to drop early April, right?
Yes, it comes in. They've released the first single.
Yeah,
is released. It's called Mirror Mirror, and that one they just put out, and it's the catchiest power pop Alzheimer's song ever.
Let's go. That's fantastic. So yeah, and it sounds great. I love it. What do you how do you feel about the record? Has it been in the can for a while?
Well, we started it exactly a year ago. We started it March 12th in Nashville, exactly a year ago. And so, albums are, they take so long to make, and but what I'm trying to do is, as I'm running out of not running out of time, but I mean, you make 10, 12 albums or whatever albums I have, I don't even remember. But so I've been using these guitar players that I have. Like I had Aaron Lee Tashton.
Oh yeah.
And so we had Aaron Lee produce the last record. And then this one was produced by Sadler Vaden, who was in our band before Jason. And so I think, well, let's Sadler produce the record. And because all these guys, when I was using producers in, 1986, the producers were 30 or 35, whatever. So they were, and so I don't, I was just really, when you get to know these guys and you know what their record collection is and how well they know you and what they think they can, like, tell me what to do. Cause I'm very producible, I like being told what to do. Like producers, like a film director, like, you don't want an actor that's telling the director what to do. I'm very I'm willing to listen. I wish I would have listened a lot more in the past because, I think that I was kind of like, you can't talk, and I mean, you know what I mean? It's like you kind of, you do, when you practice a song, it's going one way. It's hard for you to think about it any other way.
Yeah.
And if you do, it's, and you feel insulted a little bit when they ask you to, and you're like, and this project that my wife has been working on it's called Let's Go Dance. And it's this really cool thing she started with a couple of friends, just recording some of Drivin N Cryin songs, over the years. and hearing some of them deconstruct my songs, and they're so much better than my version. Oh my God, that's what the producer is trying to tell me. Like that's what he was saying. I was like, I should have listened, So
So
it's a good lesson to listen. The older I get, the more I listen to the younger people.
I love it.
That's what's making me happy lately.
How did it work with the songs? Did you bring in a lot of songs and then Sadler helped you whittle it down?
Yeah, I only brought in 10 songs. I sat at my table and I kind of wanted to make a Drivin N Cryin record that was just for Drivin N Cryin fans.
Nice.
Was like I listened to a lot of Drivin N Cryin, and I was like, okay, this is kind of what they expect. They like the rock, they like the pretty, they like the cry, they have this mixture. Like in our early years, I said we're the band that's like a record collection, like a mixtape. We're like a mixtape.
Yeah.
So we have like our first record is like starts off pretty, power poppy kind of, and then there's like a jazz song on there. There's like the song called "Bring Home the Bacon," which we never play live, but it's silly like cabaret kind of like "Bring Home the Bacon." It's like D. It's like a D minor and then like a diminished. It's not the fact that it's like kind of different. So that's what this record. It was made a conscious effort to like try to make it, some cock rock, some fun stuff. There's a dance song, and so I wanted to make the ultimate Drivin N Cryin album, the last one, because I don't think I'm going to make any more albums with. I think I'm just going to do 45. Like go back to doing just 45s, like
Sure.
because you can write a song today and record it tomorrow or over the next 2 weeks, and then put it out or make a 45, and people will buy the 45. And people buy merch. They buy records at merch stands.
Yeah.
And probably don't even listen to them, I mean, I always buy albums. I mean, I try to listen to them, but, I try to buy the merch, and if albums available, I try to get it. But
it's so great.
It's what I mean? It's a commitment to make the album. Are you guys making an album now?
Yeah, I'm out in El Paso. We're making a record, but you're right. It's a big schlep. It's a big expense. It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's expensive. Yeah, it's like 30 grand, and then you just have to. Then you have to put it all together, and I don't know. It's a lot of work, and then you really want people to appreciate it, but then they just get Spotify and they listen to the song and you're like, they're not going to listen to the whole thing.
You got Pete Buck on it.
Yeah, Pete Buck is Pete Buck and Sadler Vaden are the only two guitar players on this one.
Oh wow!
Peter Buck does you can hear him too. He does the Mirror Mirror song, and there's one called Crushing Flowers, and those are both. We went to Athens. I went to Athens and John Keene's or David Barbie's studio, and Peter pulled out his traditional 12 the REM 12 string, and it was just. He was there with his daughters, and I'm just pinching myself, like, because I was a huge REM fan,
Same.
So every time I play with them, like the last time I saw you, I think was down in Mexico, right?
Yeah.
You were at one of the last ones he did, maybe. I can't remember.
So sad that's done. Yeah, it's incredible. He's always going to be Peter Buck. What a brilliant man.
I know. He's very musically generous.
Yes.
He's always willing to jump in.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting about the record. Do you think you'll tour much for it? You think you had a big show last night, which is kind of funny. Was that like a record release or a birthday party?
Well, we didn't know we didn't quite know. So I said it was a record release. It was a single release.
Okay.
We can't get the vinyl till middle of April, I think.
I know.
April, I think, especially with tariffs and things like that. Like my wife is doing these compilations, like I'm saying, and it's always fluctuating, like when we can get it and how much it costs.
Yeah, man, they don't make it easy for us.
Well, because there's a good pressing plant in Athens. Where do you guys get yours pressed at?
We just are moving from ATO Records, and they handled everything, and we're moving over to a Soundly imprint on 30 Tigers. So I don't know.
That's a great label.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll find.
Yeah, but they're usually making them in Germany, Holland, or Canada. There was a really great pressing plant in Athens we were using, but then you know we were behind like 3 Beatle records and some Zeppelin records. They're like, yeah, we're printing up, 500,000 Zeppelin records this week,
Oh
this
my
month.
God.
It's like, so now all the indie places, are taken over by, and you gotta feel good for them because they got solid work.
Yeah. God,
But
I love that you know all this. It's so fun. You're like your hands on the fucking wheel, man.
well, I started off as a music writer and a roadie,
Yeah.
and so I just love. I'm a music, I like music fan, whatever.
So I guess that's really the first big thing I want to know is like, was there a moment when you knew it was going to be rock and roll for you for life? Was there an epiphany moment when you were a kid?
Um, mm, I really wanted to be an actor. You know, I think everything was like incremental. Like I wanted to be an actor because I liked being like, I liked, I think my first play that I did that I produced was like in the fourth grade. I did this play. I was a producer so I could get the cool girls to come hang out. And it was a workers, it was a witches union. It was a play. It was for Halloween, and I didn't really quite know what it was. But I printed it out, and everybody had. But it was really about how witches needed equal rights.
I love
It's
it.
like the Shakespearean thing, but it was like the witches go on strike because the witches aren't getting paid as much as the warlocks. So it was just like bubble, bubble, toil and trouble after midnight, pay us double, equal, equal fright. The witches of the world unite. And this is like this working class socialist play
In
that I
fourth
did
grade.
in the fourth grade at the 82nd Street. Uh, 82nd Street. They let me stay after class and assemble my crew.
That's
Um,
amazing.
so I was in the Glee Club and the Drama Club, and then I really loved the stage crew. So I did the stage crew. I quit all that and became stage crew, and I love being behind the scenes and running the arc welder. Like the old school arc welder in the back of the. You have these like welding rods. You have to like uh, I really loved the sets and all that set design and color and lighting. So yeah, that all led me to like um and then I wanted and somewhere in there I wanted to be a journalist, a writer. So I wound up interviewing this punk rock band in Milwaukee, the biggest punk rock band in Milwaukee called the Haskells. And then I became the roadie, and then that led me to be starting a band with the other roadie, and that was my first 45 I ever made in 1980. Was called The Prosecution Rests. That was the name of our band, The Prosecutors. So, and Doug Lavalier, who's works for Austin City Limits, he's the camera floor director, I think.
Wow.
So he's done that for 30 years, and so it's that just led to being in a band and all that stuff.
How'd you wind up down in Georgia?
Well, my brother walked the Appalachian Trail, and I'm from Milwaukee.
Mhm.
So he walked the Appalachian Trail and wound up here, and so he was working at a water treatment plant, I think, and in a backpacking store. And he was like, "You should come down here, man. You can get a job as a laborer." I think I was making $3.10 an hour in Milwaukee. I think I was a pharmacy assistant. I worked at a
Oof.
record at Peaches.
Yeah.
I think, and that was my raise. I went from like 290 to
Oh
310.
my God.
I think I could make. So I moved down south and worked and was a laborer. I was a laborer at a sewage plant. They were building a sewage plant, refitting a sewage plant, which was freaking nasty
Yeah.
in the summer. I mean, so I went from Milwaukee to like Georgia in the south in the heat, and it was like Cool Hand Luke. It was like brutal.
Ooh.
And it was like just literally shoveling shit, and uh, yeah, it was hard. Um, but I was making 650 an hour, which was like a lot of money in 1981. That was working overtime and stuff. I think it was making like $700 every 2 weeks, which is a ton of money, back then.
Yeah. And then the first band in Georgia.
And then in Georgia, I wound up playing. That was Drivin N Cryin was my very first band.
Nice.
There's a band called Die Kreutzen, which was a heavy this punk rock band out of Milwaukee, and they would come to Atlanta, and they would always stay with me, and we'd go to Kmart and buy T-shirts, and they would screen all their shirts in my living room. And my very first show in Georgia was opening for the Violent Femmes,
Wow.
Acoustic, because I went to high school with Brian Ritchie from the Violent Femmes. So he was my best friend in high school, and so yeah, I did this. I did a couple. I did me and Die Kreutzen had a little side band called the Rose Cutters, and Tim Nielsen from Drivin N Cryin was in the big band in Georgia called the Night Porters. They were like going to be the next REM. They were kind of like the Clash meets Echo and the Bunnymen. I don't know what it was. A really cool band, really great lights. That's what the first thing I loved about it. Awesome for lights. Well, that's the first thing Drivin N Cryin ever did was hire a light man too.
Amazing.
I want to look cool. I don't know how to play guitar, and I'm a terrible singer. And I don't look like I just want to look cool doing it. So that I met Tim and Drivin N Cryin. That was 84, something like that, 1984.
It's funny to hear you describe yourself as, starting with as an actor and then getting into just the behind the scenes and then wanting the lights. Because I've always thought of you, and I wonder if you think of yourself the same way, as an entertainer first. I mean, you write songs. I think you're a great singer. But I feel like you, like a lot of musicians these days, want you just to shut up, and they'll sit there like on a dark stool and like read their diary, and you have to like shut up and listen to them. But
Right.
I feel like you sort of take the mantle of entertainment and go out and try and make sure that people have an experience and have fun.
I do. Well, I try to. Well, it'll depend on my mood, But 90% of the time, I'm, for Drivin N Cryin, I'm always ready to entertain. So I've the folk shows a little bit of. Sometimes I'll talk a lot. Sometimes I won't talk. Sometimes I won't talk at all. Like I've strung 14 songs together and didn't say a word. I've used my loop station and just created like a soundscape and just played for an hour without saying one word or even breaking for
Wow.
applause. Like just like the song would end and I would just let the echo kind of go and then I would start another one. I don't do that very often anymore, but that's. But for me, for Drivin N Cryin, you gotta, we have now in our we're like I say a regional band, which I take great pride in being a regional band. Like there's Texas bands and they're huge in Texas, and that I think that's really cool. I've always been a little bit jealous of the Texas. There's like an insular Texas scene. Todd Snyder turned me on to a lot of that.
Yeah.
My one of my closest friends.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Mm.
And but I really want to make people who are paying $20 and getting a dog sitter or babysitter, I want to play the hits for them.
Yeah.
I want them. I'm not here to experiment on you. I try not to preach. Like you say, you guys. I mean, you're a guitar player, but you're almost like the drummer too. I mean, you got that thing, and you're so entertaining, and you're handsome, and you're a great personality. And songwriter. It's a great. And Old 97s is a thing.
Thanks.
People don't want to come see you guys and like, we're gonna see that because I have like a really down. I mean, maybe I would like that if you had like a really depressing show. It might be kind of cool, like once. But,
I think
you know what I'm saying. People pay to be entertained.
Yeah, and you do a thing specifically that I feel like is a great lesson for people who want to do this. You model the fun. Like you are showing people that you're having fun and you're modeling for them what it looks like. And I feel like that's just people don't think about that enough sometimes in our job.
Well, I have a mantra that I say before I play every show, and it's like every show's my first, every show's my last.
Wow.
So I play every show. Like I'm excited to be here. Like I can't believe I've been given this opportunity to get a gig because we all know that feeling. Like, hey guys, we got a gig. No way. Yeah, it's Monday at the taco place. Amazing. How lucky you when you remembered you were just happy to have a gig.
Yeah.
Try to take that with me. How lucky am I to be here?
Yeah.
So I play every show like it's my first, and then I leave and I say, if that's the last show I ever did, that's good.
Oh,
So good.
I
I don't
love
think playing again. I'm good
I
until I do
love
it
that.
again. And I don't talk about the show. I don't complain. If something went wrong, it's like, oh well, whatever. I try to, but I want to interact with my members on stage. I love looking at my members. I love watching the drummer. I like playing with the drummer. I like watching when I'm singing with the bass player. I try to look at his lips and sing. And
Yeah.
I try to incorporate the band because it's weird to me sometimes to watch a band and then like no, it's like watch that bass player has never looked at the drummer. Like, oh, still has looked at him. They'll go a whole show without looking at each other. Like that's amazing. Not good or bad, but it's kind of amazing, because for me, I'm only there for this moment. So, and I've almost never done this, but it is a possibility that, but if I don't want to be there, I'm just not going to be there.
Yeah.
So if I'm there, I'm there. I'm committed.
I love that. And so I wonder if you could extend some of that philosophy that you just shared, which I think is so useful, to like a more general, when you come up against internally generated obstacles, like, negative inner voices, imposter syndrome, the things that we kind of all always deal with. When you come up against that, what strategies have you figured out generally to overcome those?
I'll put on stage boots.
Oh, okay.
I have shoes. And like I don't I try to dress up for the stage. Like I try to put on a new t-shirt and some sort of shirt. And I try to put like stage like boots on or something to say this is it. I'm going in for this. Because I have the same thing. Like I don't know why I'm here. This is gonna be terrible. I don't want to do that. This is the like and right before I'm saying that mantra, I'm saying this is the last place on earth I want to do. I want to be. This is the last thing I want to be doing. And then I just kind of commit. And it was weird. Like I've had like this foot like plantar fasciitis. I don't know if you ever had that.
Sure, yeah.
They hurt.
Sucks.
I've been wearing these I had to wear like these orthopedic shoes for so long, and I haven't worn like my Beetle boots in a while. And I went and saw Cat Power and do the Dylan thing in Nashville. And she was wearing like Jimmy Choos or some high heels. And after the show, I was like, man, I can't believe you stood there in Jimmy Choos, whatever, high heels. She goes, 90 minutes. Okay, I can do it for 90 minutes. So anyway, it just kind of that Batman, you have that Batman thing, where you're a superhero. So I put on my cape, whatever that is, a different shirt, something different than sound check.
Yeah.
I commit and I just kind of go with it. But yeah, it's I'm the least likely. I'm the least likely person to be doing this like in front of people. It's insane.
Do you think of yourself as like I don't know, like a shy, introverted person at all, or are you as gregarious as you come across?
Very shy. Yeah, I'm not gregarious at all.
I know, I had the feeling that was going to be your answer, but you know that you come across as very gregarious, right?
No. Well, hmm, well, I'm not. I know that people have been saying this a lot, but I do have brothers and grandchildren. The spectrum thing is definitely there, for me. So I just kind of get manic and become gregarious. I
Oh,
can be that way.
yeah.
Turn the switch on. It's a little bit of but it's not it's not natural. It's totally unnatural for me to be that way. Like I'm the last person to ask for my check. I feel like get my
Yeah.
check, get my check. I asked you 4 times, but I just I'm like, hey everybody, check it. But also I might have been more gregarious when I was drunk, but I haven't had a drink in 5 years. So
Hey, congratulations. I didn't
well,
realize that. That's great.
it's not really, yeah, it's that, but I drink your share and my share, and that pandemic, man, I had so much fun. Like, I never drank before shows, or I didn't. Just being home, I was like, I think I'm gonna just start drinking at noon.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. I have tequila Tuesdays and wine on Wednesdays, and just whatever. So I kind of went overboard, and I was like, I need to dial this down. So I did this 100-day challenge to like, okay, I'm gonna stop for a year, and I just stuck with it.
Yeah.
So it's just easy.
Yeah. I'm 11 years in, and I've
Right.
been so grateful for it. It's funny how once you get over the hump, you're like, oh my God, this is actually so much better.
So much better, and smoking as well. I quit
Yeah.
smoking, and I used to be a chain smoker from 12. I smoked probably from 14 to 54.
Wow. Yeah.
And I quit that 10 or 11 years ago. Once again, you don't think you can, but then you do, and you're like, it's not really even about not being drunk. It's about, for me, now it's more selfish than that. It's like, I don't want that hangover.
Yeah.
I was trying to explain that to somebody the other day. I mean, not that this is an AA meeting, but I've never even, I think I've only been to one. But it's like, if tater tots, who doesn't love tater tots?
Yeah.
But if tater tots are like that, well, if you enjoy this tater tots, it's like, yeah. Well, tomorrow you're gonna wake up and throw up. You're gonna feel like crap, and you're gonna be irritable. And, it's like, well, you sure you want the tater tots? Like, I don't want the tater tots. You sure?
Oh,
It's gonna
my
make
God.
you feel like crap tomorrow. Really? And it's gonna make you irritable. You might break up with your wife. Really? Yeah, tater tots are pretty good. Like,
That's so good. Oh my God, Kevin,
All
you're so funny.
all right. I'll skip to tater tots. I'll think about them a lot.
It's so good.
So I still think about drinking, but the hangover is definitely making you, I don't know if you remember your last hangover, but it's probably.
Yeah. So I wonder if you would try maybe to distill some of the wisdom you've been sharing with us. Imagine a 21-year-old version of you in today's world with all the craziness. And what would you tell that 21-year-old Kevin Kinney?
Probably. I mean, in retrospect, or if in retrospect.
Well, like you've got kids now and grandkids even, but like so you're having to
Yeah.
sort of do a version of this, but one of them is just you. You just show up in a time machine and you've got to now live out the rest of your life starting now.
Right. Well, I think I'd be kind of, I guess, I would remind myself to just be yourself. Don't, and I think I would, I think that what's kept me sane through all these years is that I'm happy being me. I've learned to embrace my Drivin N Cryin world, and I'm happy being me. I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna. I don't want to. The only award I really want to win, especially after 40 years of doing this, is if I could get somehow best new artist. I could somehow finagle a way to get like a Grammy for best new artist. That would be great. But as anything I tell kids, be yourself, channel your energy in a in a positive way, right? Like I told my son when he was young, don't slam, if you don't slam doors. Go downstairs and write a song. Tell it's called "I Hate Dad" and "I Hate Homework," and just spell it out, sing it out, work it out, write it down. But I think I've done pretty good at just being me. I'm comfortable with me. You know, I've learned to just be happy for the little gifts I've been given. I like writing songs. I like figuring out. I like the puzzle of a song. I like figuring out that first line, and it feels good to finish it, and then try to remember it, and the whole process of it, and then move on. So, but if I was a young band starting off today, like people ask me how to make it, I just say, well, first of all, on your demo tape, put your best song first. Don't put your best song last. No one has time to listen to your story arc. Let's just, if this is your best song, put it first. If you're sending me, I don't know what. If you're sending me a song, send me your best one. But also, I really think the residency thing is good. It's so hard for young bands to get something going. Like I can't get that gig, or I can't get. I'm never gonna make it on tour with this, or no one's gonna hear it. I said, well, just go to some place, just like we did in the 70s. Like find a place that doesn't do well, and just say, I'd like to play here every Tuesday. And if you play every Tuesday for 1 year, eventually you'll have at least 50 people that will start coming to see you, I think, and it'll help you. It'll help and just do an hour song every Tuesday. Do an hour set in your hometown, because you can't expect, if you can't get people to see you in your own hometown, you can't expect people to want to give you a record deal to make you famous. They don't make you famous anymore. No one's going to do any hard work for you anymore. You have to, the tools that I learned as a young punk rocker are really helping now, making our own posters, making our own records. I haven't had a record deal in 20 some years, and I've made my own records, but I make them now knowing that in 30 years, some kid is going to find them, because, as when I made a record, when we made records in 1985, when our when our big hit record came out in 91, the record we made in 1989 was cut out, or 87 was cut out. So it was like, you couldn't get it. You couldn't find it anywhere. And it was kind of a bummer that, no one's ever going to hear this. So now you got iTunes, and your stuff can be heard forever, anywhere. Some kid in Uzbekistan could listen to the old 97, and, so the opportunities are there to just, I write songs. Like I have this thing, I open every folk show with this song. It's called Song for Me. It's like, it goes kind of like, I could paraphrase it, but it's like, I've just come here to sing to myself, from what I took off my shelf, from under my bed, until I cleared my head and I was ready to listen. And I'll sing you some songs from my past that remind you of times when I was wrapped up in rhymes that needed me most, like keys in the road, which is an acronym for Milwaukee. Yeah. And then it's like, I've come here to take myself back, pat myself on the back, say it's okay, I did it my way. I shot myself in the foot so I could go home. Which is like when
Army
Cryin became MTV band, I was like, I hated that. It was not comfortable for me to be in that competition. So, but I'd sing to myself. I'm just here to sing to myself. And if you have a little rock band, or you have yourself, and just play for yourself, man. These punk rock bands in Atlanta, they're so inspiring, because they're the real hippies. The punk rockers are the real hippies. They could give a fuck if you like them. They don't care. They're there to play. They're there playing. They practiced every day after having 2 jobs, and they're they're just happy to play, and then they're not pushing themselves on you at all. They're just you're watching them just make art, and it's really, really great. You know, once again, trying to remind myself to listen to the kids. You know, because there's a lot for me to learn from kids. You know,
I love it. I mean, it seems like you're doing great, man. I'm so excited for the new
I'm
record.
I'm a strong believer in denial.
Oh man, this has been so great. I really appreciate it. I'm so excited for people.
I
People are
was
gonna
here.
they're gonna hear the new record. They're gonna love it. They're gonna freak out, and they're gonna go back and listen to all the old stuff. And just what you described is gonna happen. You know, some new kid is gonna find you and go all the way back. It makes me so happy.
I well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on your show. I'm very honored. I was so excited. This is my first interview for the record, so
Woo! All right. Well, may many more come, and people are gonna love it. Thank you so much, Kevin.
thank you, Rhett. We'll keep on keeping on.